Kids! Every time I want to talk to you, May comes over and then she wants to run away. That's the way kitties are sometimes. They want to be petted, and then all of a sudden, they want to run. Well, actually, it is her feeding time, so that's why the cross-eyed kitty May is over here. That's about the only reason. When there's food time, she's there. What I want to talk to you about, I believe the thumbnail. What's the difference? It's. I googled. I didn't know any of this stuff. A thumbnail is when you put something out and you have to stay with that topic. So I think I pretty much did that on all my thumbnails. So I have here photons. Photon. What's a photon? Boy, as I said, photon, about 500 million just went through your eye. No, you can't really feel it. Well, actually, people say, I don't feel it. I can't touch it. I don't see it. Well, guess what, kids? You got more things to learn. That's all. No big deal. That's what we're here for, to learn. Photons go through you. Actually, it's the gamma and X-rays. X-rays and gamma go right through the body. The other ones, there's only about 4. The infrared, and the visible light. Thank you. Infrared, visible light, gamma, and X-rays are 4. Keeps popping up. 4 is the wavelength of a photon. The photon. Those are the 4 that we've pretty much known about for a while. And the reason I'm bringing photon up is the importance of photons. What's the importance of a photon, Uncle Martin? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you, or explain, maybe on a simple level, which would be, since the early 60s, there's a new photon coming in from Hercules. Hercules galaxy is it's a new photon, and photon is different than we've ever. Scientists say it's never been here before. Uncle Martin's saying I believe it has, but just for the sake of not. We only have one universe. We only have one solar system. This photon's never been here before. Just for the lack of argument, I'm going to say I don't care. I'm saying at this time, this photon is here. The photon is here now, and that's what I want to talk about. Except it'll come full circle. This photon that I put out there, the thumbnail, it'll come full circle. It has to do with the universe. Going back to my 3rd episode, I butchered it so badly that I said whenever I remember something I can recant to where it makes more sense to you kids, I will do it no matter what. And that's what I'm doing. And this time it will come, as all of them, if you've noticed in any episodes, when I said it comes full circle, it comes full circle. And I'm going to go through this so quickly that it won't hurt too badly. We only have, you Google, how many solar systems are there? Google. One solar system. Ours is the only solar system. We have our sun, the beautiful sun, and we have 7 planets. Now, 7's very spiritual, as you know, but now somebody kicked out Pluto. No, not Mickey Mouse and Pluto. The Pluto, the last planet. Nobody wants. They kicked him out. Why did they do that? I always liked Pluto, and I don't care. I'm just saying. I believe there's more than 7 anyway. If you read one book out of all the books I said, Zacharias Sitchin would be perfect because old Zach had it down. He was the one who helped decipher the Sanskrit through the Rosetta Stone and all that, blah, blah. I'm not going to go there, but he's a very intelligent individual. Zacharias Sitchin, many books. Just pick one. The 12th planet would be perfect. This would be perfect because now, say I read that in 79, and now we find that, oh, wow, there is another planet and it's coming in our direction. Oh, imagine that. Nobody wants to talk about it. So I'm just throwing it out there, put it on the back shelf. Nebu, Zebu, whatever you want to call it. Planet X, all these civilizations have put different names and numbers on it, but this is the planet they're talking about that doesn't actually hit the Earth, comes close, has 4 moons, blah, blah, blah. And that's where a lot of things happen to the planet Earth at different times. Perfect. Look into it or not, I could care less. So we got one solar system because I Googled. This is the only solar system, but yet they say there are like 3,000. See my numbers, dyslexia. I'm working on that. 3,200 stars that have planets. So we know that there's kind of limiting, but let's just go with those numbers. 3,200 stars that have planets going around them, around the star. But we don't call them solar systems. We call them, I don't know what they're calling them, but it's not a solar system. Why aren't they doing that? I don't know. We're the only solar system. It's like we're the only universe. It's like, what are we, back with Columbus? The world is flat or something, you know? I don't know. Maybe, kind of, maybe. So it goes back to, you look up in the sky, kids. When you go outside and it's dark. If you're in a country or on an island or out in a boat in the middle of the ocean, it's dark and you can look up at the sky. Anywhere on this planet, terrific or terrible, you look up at the sky at nighttime and when you can see stars, the full measure of the whole circle of what you can see, which is whatever they're calling it, right? From horizon to horizon, when you can see the whole horizon, you look up, and what do you see? You see stars at nighttime, right? They're up there in the daytime, but you can't see them. Oh, well. At nighttime, you can see them, and what do you see? You see a bunch of stars. And then you say, how many stars are there? And then you say, well, and then that. All you can see when you look up into the stars is only 1/3 of what's out there. Isn't that amazing? When you look up in the sky, you can only see 1/3. That means there's 2/3 that you can't see. Ooh, that's a lot of stars. Yeah, okay. So just put that on the back shelf too, because this is not going. So let's just say you're looking up at night and you see, what do you see? You see the Milky Way. Ooh, the Milky Way. I'm looking at the Milky Way. Okay, how many? I asked Google. How many stars are in the Milky Way? No, it's an honest question. Well, they came up with a preposition. They always comes up with prepositions. You know prepositions, kids, right? Over, above, under, around, over, about. Those are all prepositions. And they always come up with a preposition, I've noticed. It could be just a coincidence, but they said over. Stars. How many stars in the Milky Way? Well, they came up with 100,000 million. 100,000 million stars are in just the Milky Way. That's pretty interesting. And then I said, well, I got to Google how many galaxies? How many galaxies is in the Milky Way? And they said, it's about, no, they didn't say about, they said around 50, around 50 galaxies. All right, 50 galaxies. Got to work with some kind of number. 50 galaxies in the Milky Way. All right. Then I had to Google how many stars in a galaxy. Google came up with about 100 billion. About 100 billion stars are in one galaxy. Kids, doesn't it sound like a lot of numbers? But in reality, numbers ain't nothing compared to a Google. I mean, man loves to make numbers, right? And back in the day, all we had was 1 to 9. I think we can count on our fingers 10, and we got 10 toes. We can got 10. 10 and 10, we can got 20. I don't know if it came over 20 because we didn't have a zero. That's what I'm saying. We had 1 to 9, and there was no zeros. Where were the zeros? Well, man got it. Do you know where man got his zero from? Do you know, kids? Do you know? They got it from India. Yeah, India. Not the Indians. Well, it was India. The guys in India. These guys are ahead of everybody, if you think about it. The Egyptians got their information from India. India has esoteric things that go into the millions of years, where we're still working with thousands, you know? I mean, if you think about it. So India, go India. And plus you're very spiritual, and I've always liked India. I think I've had quite a few past lives in India. But that'll be another story when we get into the episode of reincarnation, past lives. Put it on the back shelf. I promise it'll be so interesting that when you see episode, whatever it's going to be, reincarnation, I'll just say past lives. Keep it simple. Reincarnation is too long. I don't see it. I can't feel it. I mean, yeah, right. You guys have a lot to learn. Okay, so we got 100 billion stars in one galaxy. And there's 50 galaxies in the, they said around 50 galaxies in the Milky Way. So we keep saying it's bigger and bigger and bigger. They do say it's expanding, expanding, expanding. Our universe. And we only got one universe. There's no more universes. We're just in one little egg. No more me. That's why I'm bringing up the third episode that I had that I butchered this whole thing, and I'm just recanting it. I'm throwing the numbers out there that are correct for you this time. Oh man, not that they were wrong last time, but yeah, they were. I said when you're standing outside the egg, you get a flashlight that can go out 100 billion light years, and which we know is only 92 billion. We got a flashlight that can see in our universe, not outside our universe, because there are no more universes. So in our universe right now, we can see with our flashlight out there 92 billion light years. Okay? Just wanted to recant so you see where I'm coming from. I want to recant anything that I might have thrown out there that was incorrect. That's all. Oh man. So, because I'm full circle on the photons. So we've got the galaxy of the Milky Way with all these galaxies, all these stars, and it just keeps expanding, expanding, expanding. Sort of like our brain. Our brain is expanding too. In information, by the way, we use 3% of our brain, and I learned that out of the 20 schools I went to, I remember three of the schools that did correlate that is true. 3%, because the teachers kept saying you only use 3% of your brain, and somebody used 4%. He was a genius. Yeah, his name was Einstein. Einstein used 4% of his brain, and look what Einstein did for us. I mean, E equals mc squared, and all, you know, energy and matter. You know, yeah, you all know that. It's like preaching to the choir here. I know. Come on. If we only use 3% of our brain. He was a genius and used 4%. What does that leave us with? You know how I am with numbers, but I think I can figure out, well, whatever the other part is, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of numbers of vacancy in our brain that we're not using. So what would that be, kids? What would that be? That would be a little limiting, wouldn't it? That's why Uncle Martin went to his 5th rule. Well, if Planet Terrific or Terrible would just come along with the last 2 rules of do no harm, do no harm, do no harm, as far as even hurting someone's feelings, and have no limitation, heck, man, this would be a heck of a lot better place right now. And especially with no limitation, because we're so limiting. Well, not when we're really born, but it's when this blank piece of paper that we are, people start writing on us and giving us, they're giving us probably, hopefully, the best that they know, and some people are just pumping you full of blah, 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 like a lot of these schools are. That's why I'm coming out and talking about this. Both my parents were teachers and everything, and I learned a lot from them. And after school, when I finally got out of school, I started reading the books that I think that they should be teaching in school, that's all. And maybe they will, maybe not. So If we have the Milky Way with all these stars, with all these galaxies, about 50 galaxies, and we're expanding, 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 and plus, plus recently, we just found that there's a galaxy. See, the Milky Way is a bunch of galaxies, but we just found out that there's a galaxy that is 60 times bigger than the Milky Way. Does it just keep expanding, expanding, expanding? Well, apparently it is. But there's only one universe. There's only one egg ran. What kind of egg is it? Is it a quail egg? Is it a chicken egg? Is it a ostrich egg? Ostrich egg would be. I was thinking an ostrich egg would be pretty cool because an ostrich, if you crack an ostrich egg, you get like 3 pounds of omelet. And if you compare an ostrich egg to a chicken egg, I believe it's something like 2 dozen chicken eggs it takes to make an omelet from just one ostrich egg. So I was thinking, what can I put for the kids? What kind of egg are we in this universe? Are we an ostrich egg? And then I had to Google. Well, what's the biggest egg? The biggest egg. They said that there was a dinosaur that laid a 200-pound egg. All right? Man, that's a big egg. So I don't care what egg you want to pick. This universe, we only have one, not two. One universe. It's one egg. Yeah, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Who made the egg? And there's only one egg. There's only one universe. Yeah, man, I tell you. What about multi-universes, What about that, huh? Well, just put it on the back shelf. We'll get into multi-universes. I just want to say with the program, I said proton. That was the other story. A proton is bigger than a photon. We all know that. So the photon that you can't see, that I said photon and 500 million went through your iris already, that's the stuff I'm talking about right now. That's so important that we get this across. Maybe we will, maybe we will. I'm going to try to put it in as simplistic as I can, because even I was thinking about it, and I said, hey, I think I can put this across. Oh, boy. So the photon has wavelengths to it, okay? Just keep it simple. On the four wavelengths. We got the infrared, we got the light. Isaac Newton, actually, who's the guy, he said that there's particles in light, which was photons, so he was ahead of the game. That's the guy with the apple. The apple keeps coming in. He got in the apple. He got in the end of the apple. The apple, everybody was eating an apple, getting hit in the head with an apple. Apples keep coming. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. So the apple was more of the action-reaction, right? Sort of like karma. You give out something, you're going to get back something. You push me, I push you. Maybe that'd be negative. Kids, when someone pushes you, you don't necessarily have to push back. You can go arm wrestle like I was telling you in the past, You don't have to fight. You know those 4 rules. If not, you'll have to go to episode 1. Okay. Infrared. Visible light. Wavelengths now, we're talking about photons. X-rays. And X-rays. Gamma rays, thank you, gamma rays. So the X-rays and gamma rays, they'll go right through you. These waves go right through you. The other two, they kind of hit you. And that was my point. Photons, there's different types of photons. So the photons, basically what it comes down to, kids, is a photon, when it hits matter, any matter, it'll leave an imprint of the photon. The photon will leave an imprint into the matter and take something from the matter, is what I want to get across. So understanding of the new photon that they found in the early 60s. It's a different photon, totally different than the ones that I just spoke of. And there's more out there, but just we're staying with those 4. So this new one that came in from HERCULES, The constellation Hercules, because you do realize that galaxies are intermingling with each other, right? So these photons from Hercules are now coming in to our solar system, which we've started out with a star, 7 planets. I don't care if you want to say 7 or 12, but in our solar system now, these photons have come in as of the early 60s on our planet. Terrific or terrible, however you want to look at it. Perfect. So a photon will hit into matter, leave its imprint, and then take from matter. Is my point, as simple as I can put it. So these new photons that are coming in are in the vibration. All photons have a different vibration. All people have a different vibration. These photons that have come in are more on the harmonic of harmony of a higher light. A higher light of, actually, it's basically love and light that they're coming in. And what happens is with this love and light photon that's coming in, proton and photon, they both begin with a P, but the photon is a PH. The other's a PR. So the photon that's coming in right now and hitting people, it's leaving its imprint, and it's taking something from us, okay? It's the way it works with photons. What it's doing, though, is changing us. It's changing us, and that's what happens, kids. As I said in one of those episodes, we get in a rut sometimes, and we just follow down a path, and it might not be a positive path, and there's things that happen in our life that help us get back on the path. And that's what these photons are basically doing to us, is getting us back on the path of more love and light. I guess whether you want to or not, that's just the way it is. It's just the way the universe is working right now. It wasn't before, but now it is since the early 60s. The scientists have told us this. You know how the scientists are so, well, they're mostly correct, except with the one universe and one solar system. I got to disagree there. But this photon thing does seem to be making sense. When you look around you, and I've been around since the last, that I remember really, the latter of the 50s, definitely into the 60s. Now we're into the 2000s or whatever. So the time period of Uncle Martin seeing different vibrations, let's say, because I'll get into earthquakes and stuff like that. That'll be another episode down the road. I promise it. And you people that kind of feel what I'm talking about, well, and those people, you can't see it, you can't feel it. Well, that's something for you too. So we got the photons coming in, giving something to us and taking something. What these photons are doing for the people that are more on the positive side is it's giving you more of the love and light and taking a little bit of the negative stuff from you to where you're getting on a higher level of understanding and awareness is basically what I'm saying is happening. And the other side that are more negative, but they don't know they're negative, or maybe they do know they're negative. I'm just saying we have things to learn here, we have things to learn there, and we have things to learn on the people that can't decide hot or cold. That's all I'm saying. So the people over here that are unfortunately on the negative side that don't know it, or they do know it, these photons are hitting you too. They're hitting everybody on the planet, all right? It's not indiscriminately just hitting the positive or negative people. It's hitting everybody. That's the beauty of this. We're all learning on some level. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you're going to get to learn. That's the beauty of this photon. With the energy that it has, giving you this, whether you want it or not, and it's taking negative from you. So these folks on the negative side are getting hit with all this positive love and light. They're not too happy about it, let alone a lot of the negativity is being taken from them. And it's against their free choice that they don't want the negative taken from them. So a lot of these people on this negative side are not handling it very well, is all I'm going to say. The folks on the positive side, they're getting a little happier and lighter and more aware. This side is, they're going in another direction. So that's the way life is sometimes. We get things whether we want it or not, and we're going to learn. That's where the karma comes in. You're getting all this negative karma. You don't want it, but you, unfortunately, what you give out, you get back. And that's what the beauty of karma is. It's the law of understanding. That's what we're here to do, to learn, to understand why we're here. We're here to learn. Well, first you got to breathe. Then you got to learn. Then you got to apply what you learn. And once you see it's positive or negative, you get to discern whether you're going to keep going positive or negative. And then even after you discern and say, hey, I'm making a lot of money here, I'm going to go this way. I don't care how negative it is. I'm getting that money. Perfect. You still got more things to learn. I'm not judging anybody for that. It's just you're not getting away with anything is all I'm saying. It's just the way it is. Good gravy. No more gravy. And then do no harm, do no harm, do no harm as far as hurting someone's feelings, and no limitation. I can't say that enough for us. So if we're only using 3% of our brain, isn't there a lot of openness that we can see? Maybe we can get rid of some of our limitations, like judging people, judging these people, you guys judging these people, you guys judging half and half. Can't we just stop the judging, stop the pointing of the fingers? Can't we stop for a little bit? Mother Nature's is coming down to a time, I'm telling you, that we're going to get shaken up one way or the other. And I'm saying if we can come together just a little bit more with kindness. It ain't going to start overnight, I understand that, but at least at a level of a foundation of neutral, and then from neutral we can go for more kindness rather than staying with this hatred, mild dislike, fear that everybody's pumping into you, doomy, gloomy stuff that I'm saying. We just got to work through it, okay? We've worked through it for centuries now, and now it's coming to a head that we're going to get to do what we're going to get if we can come together as a happy little bowl of people here. A bowl of people eating out of the same bowl without starving people over there because you don't like the color, or you don't like their religion, or you don't like the way they look, or whatever reason you're starving these people on another part of the planet that is totally negative. That's coming back to you, by the way, on some level or another. Our brain has 3% use right now, and that's what I'm saying. With the information we're getting, I think we're expanding our brain, we're expanding the universe, we're expanding everything as we go. We're expanding so much that some people don't want us to expand anymore. But that's too bad. It's the time that we're coming down that road. That's what I'm saying. These photons that are coming in is a beautiful thing because it's making it. We're all going down that flow, and these photons are really making us really decide now if we're going to go to the hot or cold. Because these photons are hitting us, giving us this extra love and light, whether you want it or not. And you're going a little crazy on it, I know, but maybe it's just clicking in. Maybe I should do a little more giving than just taking, I think that's what these energies are for us to become more aware of the things that we have to learn here. And all of us, again, are at different levels of learning. And again, thinking about it this way. There's light and dark, right? If you get into even the metrics of the waves of light rays, there's rays of light that we cannot perceive through our pupil, but there are higher levels of light. There's lower levels of darkness. So I don't care if you keep going lower and lower and lower. I don't care if you're going higher and higher and higher. I just want you to go 100% this way. You guys go 100% this way. And you guys in the middle, the 50-50 people, I'm definitely saying you go make up your mind now, hot or cold. And this is not anything new. It's just the lukewarm people that can't choose hot or cold. Over the falls again. I always thought, why would God be so mean to these guys with warm water? What's wrong with warm water? Well, you think about it. You take a bath, right? Don't you like to take a hot bath? And when it starts getting warm, don't you kind of dump water and put more hot in or something? Or maybe if you like the cold, you dump it all out and have a cold bath. It doesn't matter. But the lukewarm just isn't going to make it. It's the lukewarm understanding is you're giving out hot, you get back hot, you give out cold, you get cold. Negative, what I'm saying basically. You're giving out negative, you're getting back negative, you're giving out positive, you're getting back positive. The 50-50 people don't know what they're getting. You just don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. Just pick. Pick one side or the other. It's so simple. All you kids know what I'm talking about. And I think the high school and college kids probably know. moms and dads, I don't know, maybe not. So I think I hit the photons enough to where you gotta know now that there's another photon that's come in since the 60s from Hercules, because all the galaxies are kind of intermingling together, and you might say we could be galaxies too, in a little smaller sense. Don't you notice when you walk into a room, you kind of collide into people and you didn't even realize it? All you did was come in and smile. That one with money, women. I think my thumbnail said it was some cute little face when I was in my 2nd, 5th grade. That one. That was the face, that was the smile that I came with coming into a room. And you know what I got when I came in smiling like that? You know what I got? After school. So again, I can't say much more than this, kids. Please get to school early, get in that classroom, sit down first, and look around, see who comes in with a real mean face, who's really smiling. And it could be either or on these people. They could be smiling because they know that you're new and they're going to get your lunch, or maybe they want to be your friend or whatever. But when you come in last, like I was always late, Dad and Mom brought me in late. I don't know why, but I was happy to see you. I'm going to make friends. I'm smiling away, and that was not a good thing to do. So if you come in smiling in your school, just hold back on the smile. I'm telling you, you can get it. If it's a Monday, you can get to Friday before it happens, if you just, don't come in mean, but, try to walk around. I'm not a tough guy or anything. You get challenged there too. Just, you're holding your own, you walk your own gait, the way you are, And people can see just by the way you walk, that they're going to get you or not, So pretend you're walking in a straighter manner than that other way that I was doing. So, I guess that's all I'm going to say with photons right now. I touched upon it on a little bit. There's more photons and stuff, but I think that's enough for right now. That they have come since the early 60s. We're getting hit and bombarded with them, and people are reacting differently. If you've looked around on this planet, terrific, people are flipping out on both sides on different ways, and I'm saying these photons have a lot to do with it, as well as the way you're thinking is attracting those things also. So it's just a matter of just being more kind. Less not being kind. And that's how this great little planet will stay together. And I believe it will. Uncle Martin says there is still hope. There's still charity. And it's definitely, you got to have faith, or you got to have fear. And go with it. Go with more fear. Go with more faith. You'll get both back when you do this. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that right now. The next episode will be something very interesting. It'll be on my thumbnail. Toenail. That's what you clip, and sometimes kids, you have to help somebody clip their toenails. Just like we need help everywhere. Sometimes people just have to come in and help. Don't you go to those people that help you with your nails, ladies? Come on, they help you. You don't like to do your nails. Don't you like to have help sometimes? All right, so that happens with toenails too. Some people can't reach their toenails, or they can't see. Be careful. Make sure you have your glasses on. I had an uncle that almost clipped off his little toe because he wasn't looking very well. So I'm saying, kids, you want to help your parents if they need clipping. Until we see each other again, which I hope is very soon. I will say once again, you are looking fabulous, and aloha, and be well.